name is Eleanor Alberga. I'm a composer. I was born in Jamaica and later came to the UK to study music, starting with piano and then later moving on to composition. I now live permanently in the UK in the countryside, Herefordshire. I've written 3 string quartets relatively early on. They span between 1993 and 2001, I think. And they're quite different in character. Touching on this touches on one of the aspects of how I write, because I quite often like to use extra musical ideas. So some other idea than just the notes and the material of the music. So in the first quartet, I had been to a physics lecture and I learnt about how life came about and how everything is made of the same material, that we are all made from stardust, basically. And this excited me no end. And also the idea of the energies whizzing about, electrons and atoms and all this. So that idea goes through the whole string quartet. The first movement is about all the energies, the disparate energies and the energies coming together and going apart and driving off in different directions. Quite crazy in a way. The second movement is very still, and the image in my mind was about stargazing, but being weightless at the same time. So stargazing from outer space, for instance. The third movement, we come down to earth, and it has gravity and human rhythms and earthiness. Now, the second quartet came from a completely different place. No extra musical idea whatsoever. I took all the material for the whole piece from the first bar. There are changes of tempo, but it's in one movement, and there's nothing else. Everything came from those first few notes in the first bar. So completely different way of working. Then the third quartet, again, is different from both the others. It's a much longer piece. It's got 4 movements, and I think it has more suffering in it, shall we say. It's a different character. Again, this had no extra musical idea, although afterwards I was encouraged to describe what it might be narrating. So I came up with some idea about a stream or something, but actually, in fact, it didn't start like that. It was just the notes and working with certain pitches and organizing them in different ways. Yeah, so there we are. And that, I think it's about 25 minutes long, the third quartet. The first and the third quartets were commissioned by the Maggini Quartet. And I'd like to mention here David Angel, who was the second violin in the Maggini Quartet. Actually, all his life he spent with the Maggini Quartet. That was such an important part for him, and he was a dear and close friend of mine, and I'm sure he had most to do with the first commission anyway coming about. So I'm very grateful for that, and I wrote him some very special, and he would have said, drat, they were difficult, second violin solos. And the second string quartet was commissioned by the Smith Quartet. My husband, Thomas Bowes, and I run the Arcadia Festival near where we live. And out of this has come doing the recordings of my string quartets. So although the Maginis might have been interested in recording them, unfortunately, dear David passed away. And so we decided to just go ahead and do the recordings. The album of the 3 string quartets will be available from June 2019.